Hello, today we have with us Dr. Marshall Martin, the Director of Agriculture Research, to talk to us about the regulatory processes involved in a new soybean that was developed as an oil alternative. Welcome, Dr. Martin. Can you tell us a little bit about why this soybean was developed?
As we know, it's important in a balanced diet for human consumption that we need some type of cooking oil. And we also want to be sure these oils we use from vegetable sources are healthy for us. And this one was developed primarily to thinking about cardiovascular disease, and one that has a composition of oils and fats in it that's more healthy for our heart.
Great. We know that high oleic soybean is a transgenic plant or a GMO. To ensure safety, are there safeguards or policies in place that will protect consumers?
Yes, there are. We have had in the United States now for more than 2 decades a regulatory process of 3 agencies of the U.S. government. The Food and Drug Administration provides oversight on the food safety. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has a division called the Animal Plant Health Inspection Service that looks at implications for growing the crop in the field. And finally, we have the Environmental Protection Agency that also looks at any issue related to pesticide use. For example, this particular soybean is in a Roundup Ready background material, so it had to be regulated relative to the control of weeds when we grow this crop.
Dr. Martin, is this process required?
We actually have, under our coordinated framework in the United States, for the regulation by these government agencies, a voluntary process. But every company over the last several decades has brought to the market a crop or a product that involves some type of transgenic procedure has sought the approval of the government agencies. That gives them the assurance they can, when they go to market, that they follow all of the highest standards of regulation, because we do live in a society where we are concerned about lawsuits. And just like you like to see the good housekeeping seal of approval, it gives you some confidence in the product that it's been has had proper oversight.
So how maybe does it compare in terms of regulation related to some other oils that we might regularly consume, like canola or something like that?
Well, canola oil can be a GMO crop. Most of it is grown in Canada, and it is also a very high quality oil and often used in human consumption foods. We also have olive oil, which is a very high quality oil, primarily produced in places like Spain or other countries. And we have sunflower oil and safflower oil and corn oil. So all of these are oils we've been using for a long time. Not all of them, however, have gone through this transgenic process that we're talking about for this new soybean.
So generally they're regarded as safe?
That's right, but still they have to go through the regulatory process because of the way they have been genetically developed.
Great. So speaking of other countries, there have been concerns with other GMO-related products internationally. So would this new soybean and this high oleic soybean oil require approval from other nations before it's exported?
Yes. Other countries have their own governmental regulatory agencies that are similar to the ones in the United States, but they want to do their own evaluation within their own countries. There are 2 companies that have developed this type of soybean. One is DuPont Pioneer, and their product is called Planiche, and it's almost completing the regulatory approval process in other countries. I think they have approval in all major importing countries with the exception of the European Union. Monsanto is the other company, and their product is called Vistive Gold. They have approval in some, but not all countries at this point in time. And so we do not want to put in the marketplace these products prior to being approved in other key importing countries.
So as a consumer, if I'm looking at a product, is it required to be labeled that it's high oleic oil, or what's the labeling process?
There are probably 2 primary reasons we put label on food containers. One is from a nutritional point of view in terms of the salt content, or perhaps how many calories, or information that's helpful to us as a consumer to purchase food that meets our dietary requirements. The second reason, given the concerns that some people have about the transgenic process or the GMO type products, is the Congress passed about 2 years ago a law saying there should be some type of label information about how these foods are produced. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is now going through the process of determining how to best do that, and they'll be making a pronouncement in the near future. It could be actual information on the container or on the bottle. It could be a barcode that you could scan with your smartphone and get the information, or it might direct you to a website to get more detail.
Great. So consumers will have access to information.
They will.
Great. Thank you so much today for sharing your expertise related to the regulatory process.
You're quite welcome.